We all know bridging finance is the best thing that's ever existed, maybe apart from Netflix, the pyramids, and possibly Jaffa Cakes as well. But one of the things that most of my clients really struggle to understand is how much you can actually borrow on a bridging loan. Well, that's what we're going to discuss today, so stick around. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Sam here, the Property Investors Broker. Now today we're going to be talking about one of my favourite subjects, which is bridging finance, of course, and most importantly and specifically, the question, how much can you borrow on a bridging finance loan? But before we get into it, please make sure that if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. We're on a quest to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So clicking the like button, clicking the subscribe button, and hammering the little notification bell to be alerted as to when I am going to be releasing the next video will all help me do that. So it's a quick click for you, but it's really important for me. So thank you in advance, and let's get back to the video. Right, let's get back into it and let's answer the question, how much can you borrow on a bridging loan? Now, let's quickly compare a bridging loan to a residential and a buy-to-let mortgage, because this will give us a good starting point. With both a residential mortgage and a buy-to-let mortgage, how much you can borrow is going to be limited to a loan to value, i.e. a percentage of the value of the property. This is also the same for a bridging finance loan. So that gives us a nice good start and a nice easy comparison. So if the maximum loan to value on any of these loans is 75% and the value of the property is 100,000, then we can borrow 75%. There we go, nice and easy to kick off with. But let's now talk about the differences. With a residential mortgage, how much you can borrow is going to be limited to that loan to value, but it's also going to be down to your personal affordability. If you can't afford to buy a property and have a 75% loan to value mortgage, you will not get one. It will decrease along with your affordability. The same goes for a buy-to-let mortgage, apart from it's the income that the property generates. So the lower the rental income that it generates, the less money that you can borrow basically on that loan. Now let's compare that to a bridging finance loan. Now affordability doesn't really come into play when it comes to a bridging loan. We can go to the maximum loan to value that that particular lender will allow, but it's not down to affordability. It's actually down to exit strategy. What exit strategy means in bridging terms is how we are going to pay that loan back. Typically, we're going to refinance that property onto a buy-to-let mortgage or residential mortgage, or we are going to sell that property. So the viability of each of those things will determine whether or not a lender is comfortable lending you a certain amount of money. Of course, when you're selling a property, it's all down to how strong the market is in that area and whether or not the lender believes that you are going to be able to sell it for the price that you think you're going to be able to sell it for come the end of the term. Now, it's slightly different when it comes to the mortgage side of things. What the lender wants to know is, can you borrow enough to be able to repay? And they'll do this by actually going down the route of doing that affordability calculation, essentially. So most of my clients are going to be refinancing onto buy-to-let mortgages because they're investment properties. So a lender will look at the viability of actually being able to borrow enough money to pay back their loan plus interest and fees. So we do a rental calculator, and that's how we can prove that. As brokers, what we're doing is we are going to go and do that calculation, prove to them that it is possible with a real lender, and also go through any other criteria. So it might be to do with credit, it might be to do with property type, all that kind of stuff. And we just prove to the lender that we can actually exit that loan. So in effect, how much you can borrow on a bridging loan is completely infinite. You can borrow as much as you want, as long as it meets those restrictions. It doesn't go beyond a certain loan to value, and we can repay the loan in a viable way. Now, if you're still struggling with understanding what kind of property strategies that you're going to utilize and how you're actually going to go about funding those things, I have a lovely solution for you all. You can book a one-to-one property strategy call with me on a Zoom call where you can choose either half an hour or an hour. You'd also get a load of other helpful templates and videos to assist you. But essentially what we'll do on that call is we will talk about what your end goal is, why that end goal is the way that it is, and we will reverse engineer a nice, easy plan and talk about all the different finance products that you're going to need to understand. You can book a call with me now by clicking on the link in the description below. I look forward to having a nice conversation with as many of you as possible. Now, if you love this video and you really want to learn more about bridging, I've got a fantastic playlist which you can check out right here, which has got all the videos I've ever done on bridging finance. So fill your boots, learn as much as you can, and don't forget, if you've got any questions, just chuck them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.